welcome back. My name is Will Sherwood, and in this series of videos I'm breaking down Bear McCreary's themes for The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. In this video I'm going to be looking at the theme that is called Elendil and Isildur, but it will probably end up being connected with a whole host of characters that are connected to The Faithful, and Bear has very explicitly stated that this is the theme for The Faithful as well. So, let's jump straight in. The first thing I'm going to do before I actually play or discuss any of the actual notes is consider the instrumentation. So when we hear this theme for the first time on the 2.5 hour album, it's stated through a solo trumpet. So trumpets have a long history of being connected to the military, but also to funeral marches specifically for fallen soldiers. So obviously connecting to the inevitable fact that Elendil's going to die in season 5. So yeah, sorry if you didn't know that already. If you didn't, whoops. However, it is very well known Tolkien canon. So, but yeah, I think it's quite interesting that whenever Elendil actually, well, the theme is played in connection with Elendil, it's actually brass instruments, which are, like I said, kind of associated not only with military and might, so Numenor's power, but also funeral marches and the fallen of the brave, and soldiers, so on and so forth. So there's that kind of foreboding that Bear is able to bake into the theme whenever it's actually played for Elendil. So just an interesting starting point really to get us going. Underneath the trumpet you have a guitar playing these arpeggios, these kind of establishing the tonal centre and where exactly we are. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to play through the opening, the A theme. We'll do our usual kind of discussion, break it down, move on to the B theme, considering what's going on, how does it link into Numenor's theme, but also what is its connection with Spanish flamenco music as well, which I've seen on the internet a couple of people kind of noting there's a kind of Spanish flavour to the theme. There certainly is. So here we go. Well, hey, so, what to say to begin with? So, we've got this. So, when you first hear it, you've got these 3 notes here, kind of suggesting A minor. However, as will become apparent the more we go on, this is actually in the key of E, so an E Phrygian. So, if we play E Phrygian, the most prominent note is the minor second, so from an E, you just go to the F. So an E natural minor would have that E flat in there. So kind of from Lion King, for example. Yeah, but when you get E Phrygian, you just go up. It's literally Jaws. So that's where the guitar music is just emphasising this minor second, which you can kind of tie into Numenor, where you've got the rise from the G up to the A, falling to the A flat, which is just minor second away from the C. So there are those kind of tonal similarities and connections back to Numenor, but again, we're clearly in Phrygian, which is not really a modal area we've been before, so this is quite new, which is quite exciting. Anyway, so in the trumpet, so you have these rising intervals that keep coming back, even though they keep falling. They keep on rising, and even when you get to the B theme, this happens. So there's this kind of idea of hope and aspiration. Obviously, the faithful keeping their connection and faith to the elves and to Valinor as well. They are not losing their sense of responsibility. So although things get dark, emphasised by the minor chords, they always push through and find the light. They find the hope and their motivation for continuing on. And I think that's quite clearly stated by the music. So kind of lingers there for a second. And this bit here, so suddenly comes out of nowhere, this A flat minor, suddenly changing into A flat major instead. So breaking through that hopelessness and despair that you might kind of affiliate with the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, and when like the ships of Umbar arrive, there's the despair that fall over the men. So that, and also I've kind of talked about kind of despair as well with the Elrond theme, that fluctuation between the major and the minor. He's doing the same here. So you've got that sense of despair changing and turning into the hope, that rooted resolution that they will remain connected. They know what their motivation is, as I've just said. So yeah, and then back to that minor chord before resolving onto the major chord, onto that G major. So just again, you've got that A flat minor onto A flat major, C minor onto G major. So it keeps resolving and coming back to these major chords. So the melody itself is quite strong, it's quite powerful. Also, final kind of point to note about it is the intervals. So fourth, okay, so I've kind of spoken about fourths before, I think in the Numenor theme, most likely elsewhere. Khazad-dûm, about fourths being very strong intervals. They help to reinforce tonality. And also, if you think about Captain America's theme by Alan Silvestri, they're fourths before that major seventh falling down. But those those perfect fourths are very important there. And yeah, the dwarf, so Khazad-dûm. Khazad-dûm also opens with a perfect fourth, supposed to do with string. Same with During. Those perfect fourths, they're just that statement of strength and resolution. Okay. So, tick, tick, tick. There's this beautiful moment that I've not really covered at the moment, at the end. So, you get this second statement of... so onto the C major, and then this chord here is just delicious. So what you have here is F minor sixth. So you've got an F minor chord with a major sixth on top, that D, but the D is emphasised as it's in the melody. So you've got, if I just go back slightly, so gorgeous, a beautiful moment there just to resolve. But one thing also to kind of point out, if we go back to my Bronwyn and Arondir video, is actually this is a minor plagal cadence, so that only you don't have the major falling to the minor, so major, minor to the tonic major. Here it's just minor, and it doesn't fall to the major. No, it does fall to the major, but it doesn't fall to the tonic. But you have that kind of minor plagal feel to it. So a kind of longing, perhaps a sense of loss in there, just poignantly at the end to finish off the A theme. Although they remain the faithful, that time has been lost. That time in Numenor cannot return. Even in Gondor and Arnor, it never fully returns. It's a diminuted version of Numenor in the first place. Okay, so moving on to the next side. So we've spoken about the A theme and kind of like how it's made up, the E Phrygian. So even though the melody feels like it's in A minor, it is actually in E Phrygian. Hence the bass line, that minor second step up. So where does this come from? So this is deeply rooted in Spanish music, flamenco music, and what is known as the Andalusian cadence. So if you play it without any extra notes, it sounds like this. Okay, there's your Andalusian cadence. So A minor, G major, F major, E7, and then you can come back to A minor, but the whole point is that it's in E, not A. I know, a little bit of a, don't worry too much, it's just how it works. But what actually you can add on top of this as well, so the kind of like the Spanish flavours, so with your A minor is a second, okay, so you get this. Followed by the G, you add a sixth on, so actually it'll be interesting to note, there's the B, so the ninth, that's been added into the A minor chord. Just have a quick listen. So that B is kind of like a root. It just holds all the chords together as you descend through the Andalusian cadence. That B is there consistently. So you've got your A minor 9, your G6. That B becomes the third. You go to the F with the sharpened 11th. So you've got your B still there. And then finally your E major 9, so your B's still there. Now notice here, so that final chord there is kind of what Bear's clasping onto. That F, the 9th in the E major chord. So just adds that tension and spiciness there. So the Faithful it's completely rooted in Spanish music, in flamenco music, the Andalusian cadence, Phrygian music. So slightly moving on, we've established the bass line kind of follows that minor second. So also if you go back, okay, so if it sounded like it was in A minor, Yeah, then you would hypothetically have your ninth there that he's clearly playing with. So you have, it kind of finishes, where'd it go then? And then shifts into the kind of like the middle section. So that despair into hope again. Okay, so shifts from modulates into a different chord. We come to the B theme next. There it is. So notice how there are some similarities here, but the tone completely changes. So we don't have the brass instruments anymore. What we have are these delicate strings and an oboe. Up to that sixth. Okay, stunning, beautiful. Oh my goodness, when this is actually played in the show, I imagine it will be something that will bring tears to people's eyes. It's a gorgeous melody. Where to begin? So, he starts off on a B-flat minor chord, but the melody is on that ninth. So remembering that Andalusian, the ninth being accentuated here, the ninth is the beginning of the melody. And then this bit here, that kind of reminding us of that. Even though we're in F major, it's got that kind of tie back to the A minor and the chord progressions from the A theme. I notice as well this kind of arc, this up and down, almost kind of like the melody is itself is breathing. And Howard Shore's kind of spoken about how he kind of wanted the music to feel like it was organic and alive, but I think there's a simplistic beauty to how this melody breathes. Okay, we're getting to the second bit, so into A flat minor. Moment of passion, rising A minor sixth as well, remembering minor sixth is an interval of passion, of longing, of love, and deep, intense emotion. You might have an idea about where I'm going with this as well, but we'll get there in a second. And then you get your sixth there, with the F. Okay, so this is a lot more insular, a lot more intimate than the A theme, whereas that was quite big, quite powerful, and expansive with its rising intervals, those fourths. This is very close-knit. It's step motion. All the notes are right next to each other. There's no jumps or leaps. Apart from, I think there's like a minor third in there when there's a moment of excitement. Oh yeah. Minor third. But otherwise, yeah, intimate, very closeted. And I have a theory that this is kind of going to be the love theme, maybe. So we've got this kind of, there's been suggestions that Elendil and Miriel, there's going to be a bit of a love arc for the two characters. The fact that both of them have been through such traumatic experiences, and now they seem to have found each other and are able to confide in each other at the end of season 1. It's quite a powerful, poignant moment. It's a strong relationship, so maybe that will start to blossom, and hence this B theme will start to be played. But also, spoiler, if you don't want to know anything about season 2, then skip, I'd say like a full 30 seconds. 30 seconds will about cover it. We have already seen pictures that Isildur will be with a woman. So Isildur's wife in the Legendarium is unnamed, but the idea that he kind of finds his wife in season 2 kind of goes on that kind of like Jon Snow kind of adventure, with Ygritte, and he finds that kind of person. It could be quite a powerful moment, and the theme could accompany them along the way for that. That was perfectly 30 seconds, actually. So what also kind of reinforces this, my theory that this is a love theme for the characters, is the instrumentation. So I said it was delicate, soft strings. Well, it's a staple, isn't it? I remember that. But yeah, soft strings to begin with. Instead of a cor anglais, the English horn, we just have an oboe here, so it's a bit more delicate. We might end up with an oboe d'amore, which has a bit more of a sweeter sound, affiliated obviously with love. But yeah, that's my theory. So there's your A theme, there's your B theme. Now, obviously, I can't really do this or talk about this theme without talking about the ending. So it's been well established, and Bear actually addressed it in his blog, that the ending is supposed to be written with the end of this series in mind. So if you don't know already, spoiler, I mean, in all fairness, where have you been? You've been living under a rock or something. Like, Elendil's going to die, we all know this, and so this is the cataclysmic tragedy of Elendil dying at the hands of Sauron on the slopes of Mount Doom, and Isildur being absolutely distraught. So we all kind of picked up as well in season 1 when Isildur rushes to his father's side, and he says, "I am all right." Well, you won't be in season 5, and also the fact that Halbrand / Sauron, saves Elendil is like, okay, kind of, hearkening and linking to this later moment. So the theme, this track, Elendil and Isildur, ends with a grand, tragic statement of the A theme. It feels like the entire orchestra in Mahler rather than Wagnerian fashion hear the call and just go all out on it. What's really emphasised is the bass notes. That is a really emphasised moment in this. But what I want to, I'm not interested in that bit. I think right at the end there's something a bit more sinister and foreboding there. So you hear, when all of that dies, single bell strokes with very low strings, which, I mean, in musical language, it's pretty much death. It's symbolic of death. So the death bell, the knell, linking me back to Macbeth there. So yeah, I think right at the end, if you haven't listened to that before, I'd recommend listening to the last minute of the track. That last little bit, you will hear those bells, you'll hear those low strings, and that is very clearly supposed to be symbolic of Elendil's end, the fall of the faithful. We know Isildur, but also dies after the during the Battle of Gladen Fields, shot by orc arrows. So yeah, the faithful will fall, and so you hear that right at the end of this track. Okay, so tick 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 tick. Just double check I haven't got missed off anything else on the other side. Tick 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 tick. I've covered everything. Well, there we go. There's my video on Elendil and Isildur, The Faithful theme. I hope you have enjoyed. We only have 2 more I think it's, yeah, literally 2 themes left. So I'm almost at the end, and we'll have to wait for 2024 for more themes. We do know that Gil-galad has a theme, which I'll be very excited to hear. I have a funny feeling with Gil-galad, it might be something similar to Wotan's theme, Wagner's Wotan theme from the Ring cycle, which is just basically this massive descending line like ba da 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 da. It's supposed to represent his spear, obviously masculinity, but also his source of knowledge and power. And Gil-galad has this awesome spear, but Aeglis, I want to call it, that I might be getting that wrong. So it might be affiliated with the spear. I think that would be cool, but there we go. So I'll see you next time. Bye.